All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, November 16th, 2019, and we just finished with Week 12 here in the NFL. So, of course, now we are on Week 13, so let's jump right into this video. So we're going to try to keep this to about 15 minutes. So some of the games, I'm not going to give a very big in-depth on, just the big games, just the good games. If there's a team playing a very bad team or two bad teams playing each other, then we're just going to kind of give the score, make fun of the game a little bit, and then move on. This is also going to be our Thanksgiving edition because Thursday is, of course, Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully you have a good day and you eat lots of turkey. So yeah, we just finished with Week 12. I went 10-4 last week, so it was a pretty good week. I only missed on a couple games, and I don't remember them off the top of my head. It was just a couple random games that I just, sometimes you can't get them all right. You can't, you're not always perfect. So pretty good last couple weeks. So let's see if we can continue that success into Week 13. Let's look at the bye weeks this week. There is nobody that's bye this week, so we have a full slate of 16 games this weekend. Very exciting. I'm very happy to see everybody playing. I actually think we're done with byes for the week. So I think for Week 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, the next 5 weeks, we are given no byes. So we have 16 games, a chance to go 16-0, but I kind of doubt we're going to because I was a little bit more. I did a few more upsets this week, we'll say. Let's go over the Thanksgiving Day football. Up first at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Chicago Bears travel to Detroit to play the Lions. The Bears and Lions have both had seasons. Not exactly what either one of them thought they were going to be doing. The Bears are 3-point underdogs, or the Bears are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 39. Stafford's not going to be playing this game. Jeff Driscoll might not be playing this game for the Lions. So, like I said, I wasn't going to go very in depth, but I'm actually somewhat of a Lions fan, so I do kind of like this team, but they stand no chance in hell without Matthew Stafford. I don't care if they're at home. I don't care if they're playing one of the worst offenses in the league with Mitchell Trubisky at the helm. Give me the Bears all day in this one, 20-13. Because of the Lions quarterback situation, I think they're like the 26th worst. I think they're actually like the second or third worst defense in the NFL right now. So Bears all day, 20-13. And I would have picked the Lions, but they actually just lost to the Redskins, so there's no way. All right, let's move on to the next game. This game's actually going to be very, very competitive, very good. So this is a game we could talk about. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is kickoff. The Cowboys are 7-point favorites over the Buffalo Bills, and it is an over/under of 45. By the way, I got these from it's like this site that posts like all these three Vegas places, like the win is something else, and then you do a consensus for the lines. I'm using the consensus for the lines on this site that lists three Vegas places. So. That's my source for these for the spread anyway. The Bills travel to Dallas to play the Cowboys, as I've already said. I do have the Bills winning this game 21-17, and it's basically based on the fact that we've seen the Cowboys dominate very bad teams this year. They seem to have just destroyed everybody. Well, not really even destroyed. They've played decent games against like bad teams. I don't remember there being a game where the Cowboys have come out and just sort of imposed their will on teams that they typically have in the past. They haven't beat a 500 team this year. I don't think they have a quality win outside of Philadelphia all year, and Philadelphia is not even above 500. So I don't know. And the Bills, I know they haven't had much better wins. They've beaten the Browns. They lost to the Browns, Patriots, and Eagles. Then they've really feasted on 8 very bad teams. But I believe in the Bills' defense. I think that's a real unit. The offense has been very good. Josh Allen, I don't think he's thrown a pick since week 6. It's an incredible run by Allen. The Bills are playing good football. They're really hot right now. The Cowboys have been up and down on an inconsistent week-to-week basis. Losses to New England. The Bills almost beat the Patriots, and I don't know, man. I'm kind of buying into what the Bills are selling this year, and I was buying into it at the start of the year because I had them going 9-7 or 10-6 and just missing the playoffs. They were my dark horse team to get in, and I feel really good about picking them. I feel really good about them in this game. I know playing in Dallas on Thanksgiving is an uphill battle, and that's why I have the score so close. I don't think it should be a minus. That line's going to be betted down so hard. Like, it's not even going to be funny. The Bills' defense is real. It's going to frustrate Dallas. It's going to frustrate Dak in the run game. And the offense has proven that they can do just enough to get their team to a win. So Whereas Dallas, I've seen inconsistency, losing to bad football teams, inability to score against a very good defense like New England. And the Bills run a very similar defense, if not a little bit better one, overall better. But yeah, so I do like the Bills winning this game. They seem to be a much better football team outside of the quarterback position and the running back position. But they have a better team all around, it seems. And they're very, very consistent, very well coached. Give me the Bills in this one, 21-17 in one of my upset picks. And then here's a game there's not much to say about. I know the Falcons did upset the Saints, but I don't see that happening twice in a season. If it does, I will say the Atlanta Falcons are the best for an hour straight on a live stream. I'm not even joking. You guys can hold me to this. If the Falcons upset the Saints on Thanksgiving, Friday evening, I will do a 1-hour live stream where I praise Matt Ryan for an hour straight, or just the Falcons for an hour straight. If that actually happens. That's how confident I am. This game will be at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so this is Thursday Night Football. The Saints are 7-point favorites with an over-under of 49. And I believe the Saints are going to win this pretty handily. I know they did get upset. That was kind of a freak game. Stuff happens. I don't see that happening twice in a season. I think the Saints handle this one. 35-28 is what I put. Because it's a division game, I have them winning by a touchdown, as do the odds makers. So there's Thanksgiving. Let's move on to Sunday, 1 p.m. We have 8 games to go through at 1 p.m. Most of them are kind of like this. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to Miami to play the Dolphins. This kicks off the Eagles' easiest remaining schedule. The next 5 weeks, the Eagles have the easiest schedule. They should be handed a 10-6 record this season if they don't screw everything up. Dolphins probably are losing this one. Well, see, the thing with the Dolphins is now that they've sort of fucked themselves out of the number 1 pick with the Bengals, are they going to try to win for pride, or are they going to try to secure the number 2 pick so they can go ahead and still pick up a quarterback? Because it's very complicated, because it's like the Redskins got 2 wins now. They can afford to lose another game. I don't understand what's going on with all these tanking teams. The only team that's tanking correctly is the Bengals. They sat Andy Dalton knowing that Andy Dalton statistically is their best shot to win games every week. They sat his ass down, and they started Ryan Finley just to ensure that they'll lose more games. That's commitment to tanking. I'm very impressed with the Bengals. I'm not impressed with these Dolphins. You guys could have went 0-16, gotten a number 1 pick, and then been like a 10-win team the next season. But you're stupid and you didn't do that because you're the Miami Dolphins, and now you're gonna just be a 6-10 team next year, and you all be like, well, it's a major improvement. Yeah, not when you purposely tank the entire year. It's like, what's your real potential? I don't know. Maybe Brian Flores will pull something out next season. Who knows what goes on. The Eagles are 9-point favorites with an over-under of 46, and I have the Eagles winning this one 35-14. Wow, asking you shall receive. It's weird, we were just talking about the Bengals. The Jets travel to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. I have this as a very close score because Andy Dalton's starting this one, but I do believe the Bengals will lose this one. The Jets are 3.5 point favorites with an over-under of 40.5. There's not really much to say in this one. Both these teams are awful. The Jets have shown signs of being a good football team. They've beaten up on some teams the last couple weeks. Ever since the I'm Seeing Ghost game, the Jets have looked all right. Of course, they're going to have problems. Darnold's going through major growing pains. He missed a bunch of this season, so he's kind of on a weird setback course right now. I don't know. This game is going to be boring. 28-21 is what I have for the score. You could reverse the score, honestly, but I just don't see the Bengals winning. I think they're going to go 0-16 and tank correctly. This is going to be a fun football game because the Tennessee Titans, who are 6-5, travel to Indianapolis, who are also 6-5, in an attempt to keep pace with the 7-4 Houston Texans. So this is a very fun division. The AFC South is very competitive. The 3 top teams are 6-5, 6-5, and 7-4, and I believe the Jaguars are 4-7. So they're kind of, this is probably the most overall balanced division in the NFL. So this is a cool division. The Colts are 2.5 point favorites. I have the Titans winning, so this is a bit of an upset. Over under of 43.5. I like the Titans in this game simply because I don't know what's going on in Indianapolis the last few weeks. They're reverting to a rather inconsistent play. The quarterback play is suffering right now. I think it's clear as punch that Jacoby Brissett's not the quarterback for this team, and it's starting to show. Like against Houston, like there's nothing wrong with Jacoby. I think he'll be good, but when you play in a division with a special quarterback like a Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to have a special quarterback to be able to compete and to be able to beat him on a consistent basis because of how good he can do so much more. Brissett's very limited. He needs a lot right going for him to win, it looks like, kind of like a Dak Prescott situation with his not as good an arm. So, whereas with the Titans, I've been very high on this team for the entire season, and last year going, this team is so goddamn talented on defense, and they have so many weapons on offense. If you put a decent quarterback who can actually get the ball down the fucking field, this team is going to be very difficult to play with. And I believe since Ryan Tannehill has took over, they're 4-1, and they're averaging over 28 a game. So it's one of those things where you actually, if you stop and you go look at it, you're like, holy shit, this team is actually very loaded. All they need is a quarterback, and Tannehill's having a resurgence right now. I think he's having a career high in completion percentage, or at least it's finally starting to go back up. So Tannehill's having a good year in terms of the Titans have a good defense. They're having a good season right now with Tannehill at the helm. They're red hot to some degree. Because I promise they've won 4 or 5 since Tannehill took over. The Colts, on the other hand, are kind of on the other side of this. They just lost to the Texans. They lost to the Steelers recently. They've pushed themselves out of the playoff picture even. So I expect the Titans to come into Indianapolis and go upset happy, pull an upset, and win 24-21. It's also, I'm kind of shifty about the kicking game for the Colts. I don't know what's up with Adam Vinatieri. It's obviously the age, and I wonder if that's starting to be a big factor. I wonder if it could affect this game. I like the Titans winning this one in an improbable 24-21. I'm glad that there's so many crappy games this week. The Washington Redskins, fresh off their second win of the season, ruining their draft spot. So now the Bengals can afford to win a game. Congratulations, Bengals. I don't know if you're going to do it, but you can. The Panthers are 10-point favorites with an over-under of 40, and I have them winning 28-13. The Panthers are 5-6, coming off a couple tough losses, but they've played some pretty good teams in the meantime. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Kyle Allen. I don't think the Panthers are getting rid of Cam Newton, everybody. That's my takeaway from this game, is I just don't see it. I think he'll be the quarterback next year. I think with Cam Newton, this is like an 8-win football team. So that's just my personal views. Kyle Allen, yeah, he's been fun, but he's a backup, it looks like. So I don't know. There's not really much to say in this one. Washington's just they shouldn't have won last week. The Lions gave them the victory. So give me the Panthers all day, 28-13. All right, we're making pretty good time, folks. The Green Bay Packers traveled to the New York Giants to play the Giants. The Packers are only 6.5-point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. How the hell are the Packers are only a touchdown, not even a touchdown favorite in this one? All right. Yeah, I know the Packers just lost embarrassingly to one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFC. But there's no reason this should be the line. This should be like a 10-point line. As much as I don't like Green Bay, like this is a dumb line. This is why I don't do gambling, because of shit like this. It's like, why isn't that like 15 points? Give me the Packers 31-10. They stand no goddamn shot. The Giants do. They have no defense. Their offense is really, really inconsistent. I see the Packers feasting on that inconsistent offense and inconsistent play by Daniel Jones. See a couple turnovers happening. And I see the Packers taking full advantage of that. A revenge game against a bad team. Green Bay all day. It's not even going to be fun. Oh, here we go. Game of the week, everybody. Game of the week. This is the one I'm pretty sure most people are circling on their calendars. This is the game that has every football fan frothing at the mouth. The San Francisco 49ers host the Baltimore Ravens. Oh my fucking God, right? We're going to see an immovable force meet an unstoppable object. The immovable force is the 49ers defense, and the unstoppable and the force is, of course, Action motherfucking Jackson. Playing all... Dude, he had 5 touchdowns last night against the Rams. It's just like, dude, he is so goddamn good. Nearly a perfect game, too. So, 49ers just decimated the Green Bay Packers, made Aaron Rodgers look pedestrian. The Ravens, of course, they've done that to many a team this year. The 49ers just had their statement win of the season, proving, yeah, we're for real. We're a real-ass football team. 10-1 versus 9-2. The Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. Very disrespectful to these San Francisco 49ers. Some motivation, I would imagine. With an over-under of 46, I would say bet the under on that game. Wow. So we have a great defense that can play any style of offense extremely well in the San Francisco 49ers, taking on the elusivity and the craziness of the offense that is the Baltimore Ravens. I do have the 49ers winning by 3 points. And I feel like that's my biggest upset I'm going for. And it's mainly, I feel like I made this pick slightly because I'd like to see the Ravens lose. But I also just believe in the 49ers defense. I think they're going to cause some problems for Lamar that he hasn't ever had to deal with in terms of a pass rush. They're very good against the run, the 49ers are. They're very good against the pass. They force you into bad throws with the defensive line and defensive front they have. And I don't know if Lamar has ever faced a team built like the 49ers. I know the Patriots are a defensive-oriented team, but they're more of a finesse defense. They're going to bait you into bad throws. They're going to make you turn the ball over, the Patriots are. They're going to scheme on you a lot better, whereas the 49ers just get after you. They're going to out-physical you, and I don't know if the Ravens and Lamar are ready for something like that. Likewise, though, I don't know if the 49ers defense is going to be up to speed to keep up with this Ravens running game. So there's kind of like this duality going on of like, well, the Ravens run game is unstoppable, and so is the 49ers rush. It's just like these two things that are about to meet head on, and you don't know how it's going to go down because there's nothing like Lamar to compare it to in the entire NFL. And there's not much to compare to that 49ers defense right now, especially that defensive front with all those first-round draft picks sitting on it. So it's two very odd anomalies that you don't get to see very often inside the NFL. 49ers, you see it a little more often with the crazy defenses. But we haven't seen this since Michael Vick or Kaepernick in his first 2 years when nobody could stop and he went to back-to-back NFC title games. So I like coaching seems to be at a pretty much even sit with Harbaugh going against Shanahan. Really, I think in terms of analyzing this one, it's really all about the running game versus the defensive front. I personally believe the 49ers secondary will shut down Lamar's throwing ability. They've done that to everybody from Aaron Rodgers to Kyler. By the way, the only team to ever fuck with this team is the Cardinals, a division rival. And you can say the same thing about the Ravens. The only team to really fuck with them has been the Browns. And I don't remember who else they lost to. The Chiefs. So the Browns and the Chiefs are the only teams that have beaten them. And I don't know what happened against the Chiefs. That's just a weird one. And the Ravens weren't complete at that point. I believe they were still waiting for players to come back on defense. And against the Browns, I really don't know what happened with that one. Division rivalry games are weird. The 49ers only loss, I believe, is to the Seahawks and other division rivals. So division games I won't hold against teams, but and anomaly games early in the season I usually don't either. So I don't know, man. This is a tough game. This is a very hard one to choose. I'm very interested to see what everybody has to say about this one. Just because, like, I'm not going to shit on either one of these two teams. I believe the 49ers win 23-20 simply because I think their defense overwhelms Lamar and the Ravens. And yeah, that's my feeling. I'm so glad this game was next because I really don't give a fuck about this one. When I was going through this game took the 49ers and Ravens took me about 20 minutes to figure out who I was going to go with. And then this game took me 33 seconds. The Jags are 1-point favorites against the Buccaneers, over under of 48.5. I have the Jaguars winning 38-35 just because the Bucs like to lose hilarious games. And I don't know, the Jags, a little bit better team than Tampa, I think. Last game for the 1 p.m. crowd. Oh yeah, the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's redo the whole helmet gate. Let's get Myles Garrett out there. Let's get Mason Rudolph and have a fight to the death. Mason Rudolph, I would not start Mason in this game. I'd go with the other guy that they've been like stringing along. That I don't know his name off the top of my head because it's a funny name. He's a duck whistle guy. I think he does duck whistling or something. but he's going to be the quarterback, I think. The Browns are 2-point favorites, which is stupid. Over under of 40. This is the last Browns game with any kind of meaning or significance. And after this, they have a cakewalk of a schedule. Looking like a 9-7 season, kind of like I predicted. The Steelers, on the other hand, they're the 6th seed in the AFC, so expect them to be playing quite hard. Their defense has emerged as going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come after the season once they get Big Ben back. Yeah, I think the Steelers are in a pretty good place. As I said earlier this season, I thought the Steelers were going to get off to a rough start and then finish out at about 11-5 or a 10-6 record. And by the looks of it, it looks like they're going to be about just that. I like the Steelers winning by a field goal. They're the home team. They have a better defense than the Browns. They're going to be a little extra motivated in this game considering what happened to Mason. But the Browns have some motivation. But like at the same point, it's like, well, your guy took off his helmet and slapped somebody, then tried to call racism. Yeah, I like the Steelers winning a revenge game 31-28. 4 p.m. games, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. This should be a fun game. The Cardinals have played every team rather well this season, and like all things considered, I've enjoyed watching some of the Rams. Or, well, not the Rams, the Cardinals have played teams very well this year. So, it's been fun to watch them. Obviously, they need more help to help Kyler Murray. They're not quite there yet, but they played the 49ers really well this season. So, something to hang your hat on. You've won 3 games, which is pretty much what you won last year, and you played better against good teams, so that's a big sign. You're getting better because you're playing better teams closer. So, with all that said, the Rams are 4-point favorites with an over-under of 46.5. I like the Rams winning this game 28-20, even though they haven't been this good this year. The Rams are better than the Cardinals. 2 nobody teams that won't be in the playoffs. This game, I thought I was going to give a little bit more time to, but when I really thought about it, I'm like, this game isn't going to be close. What the fuck? The Raiders just got blown out by the Jets, pretty much eliminating them from any respect I had left for them. They're 6-5. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 51.5. What a crazy. That's a crazy amount of points. I have it at 52, so I guess I can't really talk. I think the Chiefs, coming off a bye at home, a little bit healthier, everybody's a little bit more rested, is going to be a major difference maker in this division rivalry game. The Raiders are going to give it everything they have. They clearly were looking past the Jets and looking directly into the eyes of the Chiefs. So I wonder if that's going to make any difference. They're going to be super focused on this game. They're fighting for their lives in terms of a playoff berth, even though you got to win the West to get in based on, actually not really in the AFC. Actually, yeah, probably got to win the West to get in, because I believe the playoffs right now break down like Patriots, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, and then at the 5 seed would be the Bills, and then the Steelers. So right now the Raiders are on the outside looking in. I believe they're were moved out of the playoff spot. So Raiders got to fight to win, but I think the Chiefs coming off a bye week at home, a little bit healthier. Everyone got a bye week last. Everything just seems to be right for the Chiefs heading into this game. I'm pretty sure they're off a bye week anyway, the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs in this one, 31-21. We know what the Raiders are and we know what the Chiefs are. If the Chiefs are healthy, they win this game pretty easily. And they're going to be rested and yada, yada. I don't have to talk much about this game because this is a piece of shit game. The Los Angeles Chargers and Denver Broncos. Who'd have thought the 4-7 Chargers would be a thing this year? I sure the fuck didn't. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 38.5. The quarterback for the Broncos, who knows who's going to be starting? Maybe Drew Lock, maybe Brandon Allen, maybe somebody else. I could be starting for the Broncos. I've been in conversation with John Elway. He's like, hey man, I see you can throw the ball like 37 yards. Do you think you can play quarterback for the Denver Broncos? And I went, oh man, I don't know. I'll let you know Saturday. So we're not too sure what's going. We're not too sure what's going on with these shitty Broncos and their shitty quarterback. Way to waste an all-star defense, John Elway. Way to waste it. Way to waste that offensive talent too. Good job, dude. How the hell are you a Hall of Fame quarterback and you can't pick a Hall of Fame talent or even a good talent? Well, look at Paxton Lynch. Wonder why we're so bad now. We drafted Paxton Lynch. That's the noise John Elway makes when he gets excited. He makes retard noises. Anyway, give me the Chargers 20-17 just because fuck John Elway and fuck the Broncos. I enjoy this, by the way. As someone who doesn't like the Broncos, I'm enjoying their shitty run. That's something that nobody knows. I don't like the Broncos because I don't like John Elway and I don't like Peyton Manning, and they took both of them in. What a stupid assholes. All right, so those are my 4 p.m. games. Monday Night Football, we got the best team in the NFL, the New England Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan, so there's bias there. Facing the Houston Texans, a team that has never beaten Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Deshaun Watson hasn't beaten us. Bill O'Brien hasn't beaten us. And if they've beaten us, the only time they beat us was in the 2008-2009 season when Brady tore his ACL and missed the entire regular season, or early on in Brady's career when it doesn't really matter. I don't remember there ever being a time where the Texans have beaten the Patriots, and I don't see it happening this year. Regardless of how bad our offense is, our defense is still very, very, very legit. And if we've seen that the Ravens play, or the Texans, yeah, they've beaten some pretty good teams this year, like the Colts. They got blown out by the Ravens. And I think if the Patriots had a decent offense, it would be a similar situation to that. But because of our offensive woes, 19-13, I like the Patriots beating the Texans. The Patriots are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. This game will be played in Houston at Energy Stadium or Reliance Stadium, whatever the hell the name of that stadium is nowadays. Patriots defense is what it is. They've just held the Eagles and the Cowboys to 19 points. That's combined, so it was 10-9. So me saying 13 seems like a bit of a stretch for these Houston Texans. The offensive line problems for the Texans might show its ugly head again here, like it did against the Ravens. They might force Deshaun into some bad throws. I don't know how well Hopkins is going to do against Stephon Gilmore, as we just seen. Players have had trouble getting anything going against Stephon. Old Amari zero-catch Cooper. He can ask him about that. And then once we take out Deshaun, because we're going to eliminate the passing ability of your team. So I wonder if you guys can actually win a game with your rushing attack. That's going to be the big question, because we're not letting Deshaun and DeAndre beat us. So you're going to have to find a new way to beat the Patriots, Houston. And I think you have a big problem coming in your hands. Not really an exposing loss, because you got exposed by the Ravens on how to get beaten and beaten badly. So expect the Patriots to follow that blueprint, minus the offensive abilities. This will be a pretty fun game regardless. I don't mean to shit too hard on the Texans, but they haven't beaten us. We're going to take away the thing they do best, and I don't think their second best thing, which is running, is going to make that big of an impact against the team that plays the run halfway decent, I guess. That's the only way you're going to be able to beat us, is if you go for like 200 on the ground, and I just don't see it happening. Give me the Patriots beating the Texans. Now that the Patriots season officially started, we'll see how this goes. I like the Patriots over the Texans 19-13. Of course I do. I'm a fan, and the Texans just can't beat us. Literally, I don't think they've ever come close. They've come close, but it's been, we've won. Monday Night Football, we have another very good game, so we're sort of treated with a plethora of good games this weekend. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Seattle Seahawks, 8-3 versus 9-2. The Seahawks are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 49. I like the Seahawks winning this game in a close game. The Vikings are going to score some points on that Seahawks defense. They're going to probably lead for a lot of this game. I see this being sort of a late comeback by the Seahawks to win this game. I'm a little worried about the Vikings after some recent play, especially when we consider what they did with the Broncos. That's very concerning, them having to come back against a team like that. If they fall behind the Seattle Seahawks in that kind of style, I do not expect to see that again. I'm still kind of being reserved on my Kirk Cousins experience, because typically this is not a game they'll win. Above 500 team, this is a very good team in 9-2 Seattle. On the road, primetime football. Everybody's going to be watching this because of the circumstances around these two teams being what they are at 8-3 and 9-2. The whole football world's going to be watching, Kirk. Can you deliver a game? Typically, you're like 7-14 in these games. Most of your wins have come this year, it feels like, in the last 3 weeks, really. So this is a very, very, very big stage, very, very big primetime game, very, very big important game for the season. Typically, Kirk shrinks in these games, and I know it's not been the case the last 2-3 games. He did pretty well against Dallas in this stage, but you still have to remember he has a track record. Seattle doesn't have a track record of blowing these types of games. I like the coaching of Seattle a little bit more than the Vikings. Seattle's defense isn't what the Vikings defense is, but Seattle's got a better offense, better quarterback. This game is very hard to figure out. I like the Seahawks winning this game simply because they're at home field advantage. The demons of the quarterback for the Vikings. It seems like it's pointing to Seattle to win this game. Seattle's a little team that could this year. They're comeback happy. They'll come back on you and beat you. So no lead is safe. No nothing is safe. I don't know, and I just feel like Minnesota is not as good as Seattle. Like Minnesota's 8-3, but it feels like an empty 8-3 versus Seattle's 9-2, where they've feasted on some good teams to get to this point. So I do like the Seahawks 27-24 in this game, big stage. Give me Seattle over the Vikings. So here's our pick'em record for the whole season, so you can get an idea. We're 110-65-1 with a 62.5% correct percentage. 10-4 last week, 11-3 the week before. Obviously, we're in a nice recovery from the worst week of 3-10 that I've ever had. Son of a bitch, this is 30 minutes long. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and start to end this then because I've gone way over what I thought was going to be the time. Motherfucker, dude. All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening. That is my Week 13 NFL Pick'em. Of course, there was more games this week, so obviously it had to go 31 minutes. Sorry about that. I hope people watch this still, so... God damn it, dude. I have to figure something out. But anyway, yeah, those are my picks for Week 13. I hope most of them are correct. I'm hoping for like a 13-3 or a 12-4 week. That would be pretty sweet. I think that's going to be the outcome. Leave your picks down below. I'll make sure to get back to you. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Make sure you leave a comment with your thoughts on the picks, with your thoughts on me, with whatever you have to say, because that's pretty much the theme here. I comment back at least a few times and have a conversation with you. So leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, go Patriots, go Lions. Hopefully they pick up some dubs this week. Thank you guys so much. Again, the bets were made, the lines are made through Vegas, it looks like, this week. So that's where I got my lines. Thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Peace. Thank you.